This is Dan Meehan for Fight News Australia, and today we have Mini T, Danial Williams, who takes on Jeremy Miado at 1 on Prime 3, October 22nd Australian time. Mini T, how are you?
Good, Dan. Very good. Yeah, thanks for having me on. Um, got a couple of weeks now, so getting close to the event.
Absolutely, looking forward to it. Now, last time we caught up, you were getting ready to fight Crew Dej back in Feb. So, how's life been since then?
It's been busy. Yeah, obviously, getting that win, and then they've given me two more fights after that, and got wins off there, and it's just building my confidence every fight. So now I'm gunning for that title. And I've got a tough challenge ahead in another striker who all his wins in one championship have been by knockout. So it always makes sense matching us together because we both go in for the kill. And that's kind of what one championship love. They boast themselves on that being the highest finish rate combat sport platform there is so far. So it was no surprise that we're going to get matched up. And it's actually someone after I fought Crew Dej, when they asked me who I wanted to fight, I thought he would be the perfect fight because he was in the top 5 at that time. And 3 fights later, I got him.
Absolutely, and before we get to all that, of course, as you mentioned there, you stopped Crew Dej with a body shot. Now, of course, he's a legend of the sport, a legend of Muay Thai, and you mentioned last time we caught up that he was a bit of an inspiration of yours. So, how was that? Was that a bit of a feather in your cap to sort of add that scalp to your record?
Yeah, he's some dude that I looked up to. Muay Thai champion, converted to MMA and became an MMA world champion. So it was kind of a weird one, I had so much respect for him, so I didn't want to, it was a little bit felt bad as well. And I know he was on his way out, so it was good to get that scalp when he was on his way out. It was good to get that win, but at the same time, I kind of felt bad as well. But hey, it's whoever they put in front of you, they're trying to take everything away from you as well. So just got to look at it that way.
Absolutely. I'm sure he would have taken your head off if given half the chance. So, I guess you can't feel too bad.
Yeah, I'm glad I got him in the body, not the head, So the body you can recover from. Obviously, at the time, that's the worst spot to get hit. I hate getting hit in the body. I'd rather get hit in the face any day. But, it's good that he was all good for the brain on his retirement and everything.
Absolutely, and since then you've obviously, as you mentioned, you've been busy, sort of, in a bit of a hurry to sort of rack up the fights. Is that just kind of, making up for lost time for you, or is activity something that you always just, you kind of love to keep up?
Yeah, I did want to be able to fight quite regularly, and I'm glad I got the opportunity to keep fighting because I did have a long break after I finished Muay Thai. It took me a while to get into MMA, and that was always the goal. Just a few injuries and just learning the ground game and stuff, getting fights here and there. So there was a big period between fights from Muay Thai to MMA. And then when I did start MMA, it was like one fight a year kind of thing. So it's good to just have a good solid year now because, you only get better every fight. And from experience in Muay Thai, my best year was when I had so many fights in 1 year. And I just got a lot better real quick. So, I think that's just the way to do it. Just stay busy. It's really hard, trying to get fit again all the time. And if your body's healthy and you take a fight and you win and, you're all good, then, I just believe you should get straight back in there if you want to get better quick.
Absolutely, and of course you've recently fought Geelong as well, which was another war while it lasted. The leg kick sort of added up before you blasted in with that right hand. How do you reflect on that fight as well?
Yeah, the game plan, just everything went to plan that fight. The training camp, fight week, the maintaining weight, no real serious injuries, and just the game plan we had was to pick your shots, stay a bit patient because I wasn't too happy with my performance before that. Even though I won, it was a very close fight. And it was good to learn from a win anyway, but there was just a lot of holes in my game and just how I was just rushing in, just trying to take his head off, trying to get that bonus, I wasn't thinking about what he was doing. I was just thinking about what I was doing. So this fight, it was just, picking my shots and just working him out a little bit, just feeling him out, but keeping the pressure on. So just went to plan that fight, and stoked it did. Coaches were happy because everything we talked about, it went to plan.
Absolutely, and ironically, you came away with the bonus without, sort of going hunting for it in the end. So
exactly right. This time, I didn't even mention it about the bonus. Didn't even think about it. Like, let's just win this fight, and then it came from there. So it's a good learning curve.
Definitely, and I saw a little clip on the socials where you kind of mentioned that the 50K would sort of go towards covering costs, and which is a little bit boring, but you said you were going to invest in your training and sort of nutrition and that sort of stuff. So did you go down that track in the end? Have you sort of put some money back into yourself, I guess?
Yeah, like it went pretty quick. I'll be honest. Most of it went on the house, and we're in a sort of situation where we needed to make a certain amount to be able to change bank home loans and that. Just some scheme me and my partner got on to when we first bought our place. So we needed to make a certain percentage of the house to be able to change banks as the rising interest rates go up. So it was good to be in that position, but it's just, my last 2 years, man, I've been like really working hard trying to make this sort of my living. And so my other work's been impacted. Running a wellness center, and just no money is pretty much coming from there. So I've been living pretty scarcely, and then just to have that bonus just kind of made up for the last 2 years, in my opinion.
Awesome, and well deserved, of course. And for all your troubles, you've got a number 5 ranking in strawweight Muay Thai and MMA. So it seems like you might be focused on MMA at the moment, but is sort of Muay Thai still on the cards, or are you kind of really just focusing your energy on MMA at the moment?
I just either is good for me, because obviously having that Rod Tang fight, it did ignite a spark. It was an exciting match, and I do want to get back in the Muay Thai. Do want to have another Muay Thai fight, because that was my last one, and the one before that was 5-6 years ago. So it's good to know I still have it, and I want to still prove myself in that, because I do believe I can take out all the strawweight contenders, especially the champ, which is who I called out. But at the same time, I need to keep improving MMA as well. So it's good to get an MMA fight, because, I got work to do there, and it speeds that process up. So whatever fight they're going to give me, I was going to accept, and I wasn't going to be too disheartened with if it was going to be MMA or Muay Thai. I just see the pros in both. Yeah,
definitely. And as you mentioned there, you called out the strawweight Muay Thai champ, Joseph Laziri, after your win over Zhelang. I imagine it was all quiet on that front in the end, or did anything sort of come of it?
Yeah, well, the good thing is he had a pretty good response to it. He accepted the match. He made a funny video of him about to eat pizza, and his coach slammed it out of his hand. So it's pretty exciting. He's acknowledged it. He's accepted it. He listened to my call out. But he's actually been matched with Rod Tang. So for me, that's interesting fight. It's a win-win, I think, for me, because Joseph's stocks only go up. I do believe we will meet each other. And he's stepping up in weight like I did for flyweight, so he still holds his strawweight title. So win, lose, or draw, he'll still be the champ of the strawweight title. So that's how that all panned out. So it wasn't Joseph straight away, which is not the worst thing, because I get to compete MMA again, keep knocking off fights off my contract, and just keep getting better.
Well, there you go. It sounds like the seed's been planted there. So, I guess the stars look like they might be aligning for a future bout there.
Yeah, exactly. Just planting those seeds, and just, it'll all come to fruition soon.
Absolutely. And before we think about any of that, of course, you've got your hands full with Jeremy Miado on October 22nd. Now, it's an unbelievable matchup on paper, really. Like you kind of touched on at the start of the interview there, you guys are both finishers. You got all kinds of KOs on your records. So, how do you sort of view the matchup, and how you sort of stack up against him?
I think it's an awesome matchup. Just makes complete sense. Very similar styles. He's more of a boxer. So I've got to make sure I keep my chin down, and he's had all his wins in one championship have been by knockout. So I know he's got power behind his hands, and he's a tall, sort of rangy fighter, a bit more skinnier. And my power is obviously I'm more dominant, I'd say, with my legs compared to him, and just being a little bit more creating angles and movement, where he's quite linear from what I've seen. And on the ground as well, he's been doing this sport for a lot longer. But, I believe he's a blue belt. Yeah, he just got his blue belt or something, but he also believes he's way better than me on the ground. So it just gives me more motivation to, if it does go there, I'll prove him wrong. And very similar stylistic matchup because we both want to go for the KO, and I believe we can both. He's not going to be too dominant on the ground at all. So it's just I think it's just going to be a very exciting match because just our styles and who we've fought before, fought similar opponents and similar records, similar age. Like there's just so many similarities, and it's just a good clash of styles.
It is. On paper, it's just an unbelievable matchup. So yeah, I can't wait. As a fan, I can't wait to watch it. But we haven't really seen you sort of get tested too much on the ground, really, in your fights. Like and you kind of mentioned how sort of Miado sort of pointed to the grappling as being an advantage for him. But like I said, we haven't really sort of seen you tested before. Have you got some sort of tricks up your sleeve there? I feel like it's an easy thing to go to with your sort of Muay Thai background. People will say, I'll just take him down, no problem. But do you feel like you kind of sort of bridge the gap in terms of grappling?
Yeah, so that's obviously been my weakness ever since I started MMA. So it's something I've been working on for a long time. And I feel like this year's just definitely been a massive improvement in my wrestling. And the biggest thing is confidence. Like my coach always say, it's just like, you're good at wrestling. You just got to back yourself because I vocalize that I'm shit on the ground too much. So I've been working on it, and I can't. Yeah, it's just knowing that I'm a striker. So I just expect that the guys are just going to want to take me down. So a lot of my training is involved around that, putting in the time for the wrestling defense and working on the grappling as much as I can. And some of that bonus has gone towards doing those PT sessions on the ground, just staying focused there because that's where I want to improve the most.
Absolutely, and obviously, you've mentioned there the world title is the ultimate goal, right? So, with a win over Miado, like how far off do you think you might be? Like, do you feel like you need to sort of string together a couple of wins against the top four guys, or sort of how far off do you think a world title shot might be?
It wouldn't surprise me if I win this fight and then I do get a title shot after that. But it would be good to fight the other guys in the top five because they're predominantly wrestlers. We got some like Commonwealth, Olympic wrestlers in there. So the high level grapplers, black belts in jiu-jitsu. So I think, it would be really good for me to have one of those guys before the title match just to really test me on the ground and prove that I deserve the shot. But at the same time, being in the top five, anything can happen. And like I know there is the title match at the end of the year, December. So I made it known that any pullouts there, I'll 100% step in. But obviously I just got to think about Miado first because I can dream all I want, but you got to focus on the task ahead.
Absolutely. Do you ever find yourself sort of fantasizing about future matchups? Like, say, you look at Joshua Paccio. Do you feel like if the call came to fight him next, do you think you'd be, how do you think you'd match up there?
Yeah, of course, man. I think everyone in the strawweight division, like Muay Thai, kickboxing, MMA, I always compare myself. I can beat him. All right, I need to work on this if I want to beat him. So it's always sizing people up and possible matchups, and always sort of thinking that way. But when it becomes fight camp and I do get the matchup, then it's obviously just the sole task is the person in front of me because you can fantasize and dream all you want. But if you lose the next one, or if I lose the next one, it can really set me back and have to work my way up again.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously, I've been snooping through your socials, of course. When I was doing my research, I saw a little clip there where there was some discussion about a potential matchup with Rodtang in MMA. Is that something that's kind of is that a discussion that's sort of been had on your end, or something that's kind of gone through your mind?
Yeah, it's definitely gone through my mind. As soon as he said that he wanted to have that Grand Prix, which he never ended up fighting in any way for weight issues or whatever. As soon as he said he wanted to do that and then convert to MMA, for me, it's just like, oh man, definitely want to fight him in MMA. I feel like I would love to welcome him into MMA. I'm still the division lower, so I think it would be a good match. And Mini T Rod Tang 2 in MMA would be a seller, I think. So just to repeat what we did in 2021, Fight of the Year, I think it would just be awesome for that match to go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. Mini T versus Rod Tang under any rule set, Muay Thai, MMA, fucking pillow fight, whatever. Sign me up. That was it was a fun one the first time around. But obviously, the one championship is sort of pushing into the US market now. I've been putting this to a lot of one championship fighters recently. Do you feel like it's kind of it's catching on over there at the moment?
Yeah, we'll see what happens. They're putting a lot of effort into that market. Obviously, being on the Prime Video show now, over 2 million subscribers or something, and they base themselves on being the biggest viewership, one of the biggest platforms in the world for sports media. So I hope it keeps happening while I'm in the promotion, because it just gives more opportunities for branding, and it's a good thing with one. Like, you can have your own sponsorships and stuff like that, and it's a massive platform to be able to sell yourself with all the viewership that they have around the world. So it's good that they are breaking into the US a bit more. And we'll see what happens there, if it's successful, and if they start to capture their audience with, the variety of sports that they have on the one fight night, which is the submission grappling now, which is starting to become a more talked about thing. And there's world titles there. So giving the BJJ guys a platform for that. And of course, the kickboxing, Muay Thai, on top of the MMA.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you feel like one could catch on down here in Australia as well? It's it seems like an inevitability that one would sort of eventually have a crack at the Australian market. Do you feel like they've got a chance down here?
I think it makes sense. They got Aussie fighters. We're close to where they have a lot of the fight shows, so it would just make sense to break into this market as well. And the UFC are definitely they've done that, and a lot of the Aussies, up and coming fighters, are getting on there now because they know it's a massive market here. They had the biggest audience here in Melbourne with the Izzy and Robert Whittaker fight. So I think as a business, they would be looking into breaking into the Aussie market.
Absolutely, and I can see you're wearing your Scrappy MMA top there. How's camp been down at Scrappy? Oh, wrong side. Got it. Yeah, but how is life at Scrappy at the moment?
Yeah, really good. We just got a team of animals, man, and that's just all I really need, which is training with the best people. We always have a big room of people that are training every morning. We also add in some afternoon classes now that Ben's sort of scheduling just for more skill-based sessions, because our morning sessions are really hard. We really grind in the morning, and it's just sort of get to training, shut up, do your work, leave all the shit at home that you might be thinking about or stresses that you have. Just you're there to train when you're there. Very military based. Benny's a ex-military dude, so really hard training, and just the boys that are in the room, man. It's complete monsters there. So it's always a big. It's a hard grind every time we rock up to training in the morning, and it's just good to have the team as well, because we just all support each other, and we're just a bunch of misfits, really. Everyone's working. Everyone's we start training at 10 a.m. So it's like we're not your sort of 9 to 5 dudes that get down there and train. We're all just a bunch of misfits, I reckon, and that's what makes us quite special.
Absolutely, and one of the standard bearers down there, of course, is Jack Becker. He obviously suffered a pretty horrific leg break in his fight on Eternal MMA against Aiden Aguilera. Looks like he's wasted no time getting back in the gym. What's it what's it like, sort of having him around and back on the? I don't know if he's even back on the mats, but having him back in the building.
Man, that guy, dude, very strong mindset, and I can't wait for his return, because it's gonna have a different switch in his head now, and what a good story you'll have as well if he, when he does make it to the big promotion, like he nearly did. So it's going to happen, and he's just so hungry. So his recovery's been amazing. Like he's, after 3 months or something from a leg snap, he's already doing slow drills. But the best thing about it is he's come down and he still coaches in the morning class. So he's always there to, give his opinions and help you out, ask him any questions. It's just a full team support. So just yeah, he's a bloody legend, man, and hard work. And I know there's big things going to be happening for him. I think he has to wait. Obviously, he's got to wait to take the plates out. So, of course, you want to get back sooner, but he's just being smart with it all and just make sure that he is 100% when he does come back. And, he's still like doing his upper body stuff, his stretching, his foam rolling. He's doing every 1% to keep the body right. And I'm thinking of his next fight, really. So, yeah, it's going to be a one to watch, that's for sure, with that sort of mindset.
Yeah, definitely. That's insane. But yeah, Mitty T, before I let you go, do you have any sponsors or anyone you'd like to shout out? I'll hand the reins over to you.
No real big sponsors, man. Just a big thank you to the people that support me. Some businesses, like good friends of mine as well, that I met through the martial arts circle. So we got Woodfire Chocolate Maker, basically organic, healthy chocolate that's unprocessed, minimal stuff's happened to it. And it's roasted over jarrah wood, which makes it super tasty for something that's quite organic. If you've had organic dark chocolate, whatever, it can be a little bit shitty taste sometimes. Not for everyone, but but anyway, man, beautiful chocolate. And it's something that I have instead of coffee, especially during fight camp. I try not to rely on caffeine too much, so it's an awesome alternative for me. Just what it does for the immune system and the focus and energy as well as weight, keeping the weight down and not crashing at all. And then, of course, I've got my wellness center, Altered States Float, sauna and ice bath, just where I do my recovery. So if you're ever in Perth, head down to there. We've got John Fraser here now. He's staying at Scrappy's for the next 3 weeks, eternal middleweight champ. And I know he's been loving the services, and it's good having him down. And it's right next to Scrappy MMA. So it's easy to have the recovery and the training and sort of walking distance with each other. And Riverton Farmers Market, they help me with my nutrition and my meals. And can't thank them enough for their constant support. And the family behind there, because they support locals, and big shout out to them.
Awesome. Well, viewers, of course, can catch one on Prime 3 at watch.1fc.com here in Australia, that is. And Dan will be the opening bout of the main card, which kicks off at 1 p.m. In the east, 10 a.m. in the west on October 22nd. Dan, thank you so much for taking the time, and all the best at one on Prime 3.
Cheers, sir. Thanks so much, Dan. Thanks for having me again. And hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday.